So, routine rounds on the internet and I come across this study which found that the color red enhances human performance in contests. The study draws from existing animal literature in arguing that sex coloration is a sexually selected, testosterone-dependent signal of male in a number of animals. In human beings, red is often used to signal anger, with increased redness in interaction being perceived as a sign of dominance. The study applied the animal premise to team sports in arguing that wearing red jerseys or uniforms raises the probability of winning. Taking combat sports in the 2004 Olympic Games as the case, this study found that contestants wearing red consistently won more fights in boxing, taekwondo, Greco-Roman wrestling, and freestyle wrestling. The study is careful to point out that red outfits only affect performance if everything else is held constant, especially athletes' skill levels and strength. In other words, red outfits, on their own, cannot influence performance, and as such, have to be paired with other performance-related components. The study also examined the 2004 Euros and found that in a similar manner, teams wearing red jerseys scored more goals compared to those wearing other colors. So out of curiosity, does color affect performance, or there could be more than what meets the eye? The evolutionary psychology theory suggests that animals associate the red color with dominance and intimidation. Theoretically, athletes competing in red gear are then supposed to be perceived as dominant and intimidating. Red and blue being part of the primary colors imply that they easily appeal to human psychology, with red symbolizing excitement and arousal and blue symbolizing relaxation and calm. The color in context theory, which borrows from the social learning theory, suggests that color has different associations and the related effects differ as functions of contexts. Context in this case refers to either domain, such as red being associated with the attraction domain, or type of task, such as the association between red and detailed-oriented tasks that require mental manipulation. Adults prefer blue while their attention is more drawn to red. Red is commonly used to indicate danger or mistakes, as sampled in examination papers, which explains its association with avoidant behaviors and increased attention. Blue is associated with openness and peace, with the sky and ocean mostly being blue, which encourages individuals to be innovative. Red enhances performance in detailed tasks, while blue should enhance performance in tasks that require creativity that test thinking and logic. Red is also associated with love, passion, energy, and fire, with the color still being a metaphor of rage, madness, and war. The associations made with the color red explain why the color is linked to a certain degree of human motivation, can act as a distraction, and could also signal attractiveness. The color red is linked to avoidant behavior, men's attraction to women, and women's perception of romance in men. Women in red-colored environments are rated to be more attractive, with the color also undermining intellectual performance. Women wearing red are deemed to be more attractive and sexually desirable compared to those wearing other colors, of course holding everything else constant. Exposure to red stimuli reduces mental problem-solving abilities and performance in IQ tests. This reduction is linked to conditioned motivation, defined as red blocking the motivation to achieve and activating the desire to avoid. After concentrating on red stimuli, individuals prefer easier tasks compared to hard ones owing to the fact that red activates the right rather than the left frontal lobe. Thus, red, through the motivation processes, raises the efficiency of information processing, which informs the speculation that red improves motor function in individuals. Mars, the Roman god of war, who won a lot of victories, is not only associated with the color red but is also painted red from head to toe. Notorious street gangs use the colors red, the Bloods, and blue, the Crips, in their symbols of identification. The Bloods are historically termed as the most violent street gang. In India, red is a symbol of the Kshatriyas caste, which is ranked second in the social hierarchy below the Brahmins, that is symbolized by white. The traditional ceremonial colors, especially for weddings, in Egypt, Russia, the Orient, and the Balkans are of red and yellow hues. The first color recognizable by the human eye is red, then followed by green, orange, blue and violet. Fast food chains have red in their brand colors because it appeals to human metabolism and increases customers' appetite. Fine dining restaurants use blue and green colors that enhance the ambience of calmness and peace, which makes customers stay longer and spend more money. Competition in entomology is the active demand by two or more of the same species or members of two or more species at the same trophic level for a common resource or requirement that is actually or potentially limiting. The association between red and mating preference, mostly based on testosterone indication, is supported by various studies, especially those involving zebra finches. Female finches exhibit preferences for specific colored nests, with the exact reason being unclear. Birds generally construct nests to sleep, attract females, and protect eggs or their offspring. The choice of material to build the nest depends on the purpose, which ranges from attracting mates, camouflaging the eggs, improving the condition of nestlings, reducing parasites, or a combination of all of them. The condition of the nestlings is improved by green herbs that reduce the amount of bacteria. Domestic canaries prefer white to red nesting. Zebra finches prefer brown to green nesting material, while others prefer green to brown, and others blue to yellow. Male zebra finches do not pick red nesting material given any options. Weaver birds prefer green toothpicks over any other color, thereby making plant material a source of mate selection. Worth pointing out is the fact that the choice of color is also purely associated with visual capabilities, since some colors are more conspicuous than others. Bird experiences could influence the choice, or lack thereof, of a specific color. Also, birds switch color preferences once they experience successful breeding attempts, suggesting that preference moves beyond visual processing capabilities. Apart from nesting material, birds, especially zebra finches, exhibit secondary sexual traits, including song and red bill coloration. Sexual traits often signal quality, with bill redness being an indicator of optimal immune condition and function. The color depends on carotenoids that are antioxidants and enhance immune function. Female zebra finches prefer males with red bills when their opportunity for sexual imprinting exists. Carotenoids are not synthesized by the animal itself but come from dietary intakes, thereby showing the bird's capacity to, quote, fend for itself. If the red bill dependent reliably signal antioxidant capacities, then mate choice for the traits may yield the fitness benefits, thereby explaining why they are a big deal during selection. Worth pointing out is that female zebra finches prioritize song over bill coloration, but the preferred song rates have a positive relationship with bill redness. Apart from bill color and song rate, female finches also look at the content of the song, UV reflectance, and chest plumage symmetry. All in all, the preferred female mate choice of male sexual traits has a strong relationship with red bill coloration. Mate preferences are partially shaped during imprinting, with bill color being very important in the process, for up to 46 days of age. Male finches prefer female with orange bills compared to those with red, with extreme orange or yellowish bills being avoided. This despite that females with more orange bills have greater reproductive success in terms of output or survival. Female with redder bills deposit the aforementioned carotenoids into their eggs, with the presence of carotenoids in yolks resulting in greater hatching and fledgling success. Apart from the effect of color in birds and the choice of a mate, red objects for a stickleback fish is a sign to attack. The point in all this being, red influences reproductive success in zebra finches, and there could be a chance that it influences performance in humans. This study is supported by others that suggest that the heart rate and strength of athletes wearing red outfits is higher than those wearing other colors. Red-colored rooms increase athletes' motor outputs, while viewing red raises strength performance. Others suggest that wearing red enhances self-perceptions of dominance and threat, with the same being true with perceiving other athletes wearing red outfits. When patients are shown red, there are measurable increases in pulses, breathing, and muscular strength. Athletes imagining themselves wearing red in taekwondo matches have enhanced self-perceptions of their dominance and threat, with the same holding true for the perception of opponents wearing red. Some studies rationalize the impact of red outfits on performance through the argument that the color has a positive impact on the athletes wearing it, while the impact is negative for their opponents who are viewing it. Other studies suggest that athletes are able to hit red moving objects better than objects of other colors, especially blue and black. The color used on objects is associated with increased perceptual efficiency, thereby improving athlete performance. The impact of object color on performance is based on its relativity to its background. This phenomenon implies that in contact sports, red has a reverse effect on the opponent as the athlete wearing it is more visible and therefore more likely to be hit. The relationship between uniform color and match outcomes is therefore linked to conditional errors arising from the perceptions of moving objects. Colors have different properties that influence a wide range of perception variations. These properties include different wavelengths, with red and orange being longer than blue and green, different frequencies, with reds being lower than the rest, and reflectance. These properties influence the speed at which differently colored objects are recognized, with red and purple being perceived in a horizontal perspective and earlier than black, blue, or green. Thus, the opponents of athletes wearing red, black, or blue might fail to commit minor errors in observing their speed and distance, which might be fundamental in sport performance. In simple terms, losing to a player wearing red cannot be a consequence of perception errors. Interestingly, some studies suggest that red objects appear enlarged as opposed to other objects of the same size. Color has been documented to affect performance in basketball, cycling, boxing, ice hockey, judo, jumping, rugby, running, football, taekwondo, and wrestling, with most sports favoring red outfits. Particularly, judo players wearing blue win more often than those who wear white, a phenomenon often attributed to the fact that in the initial rounds of a match, colors are not allocated randomly but dependent on other variables such as the length or rest between matches. Playing first person in computer games in a red-colored team leads to more success compared to playing with teams wearing other colors. Some studies suggest that the others examining the association between red and performance do not account for the effect of color on referees, who favor or give more points to athletes wearing red compared to those wearing other colors. Referee bias in sports gives credit to the perception of red as dominant, aggressive, and threatening compared to other colors. Some studies suggest that referees in taekwondo matches award more points to athletes wearing red outfits compared to those wearing other colors, thus showing that colors have significant impacts on wearers and observers. This claim is supported by other studies which suggest that referees make more beneficial decisions towards athletes wearing red attires. Referee bias towards athletes wearing red attire has been the basis of introducing electronic scoring systems in Olympics to improve fairness. However, wearing red electronic protectors still raised the likelihood of winning a match in Asian and European Olympic qualification tournaments. This likelihood is explained by referee bias and variations in interpreting the rules and regulations. Even though electronic protectors award points based on performance, referees are still present for continuity. When the influence of the referee is limited through the use of electronic systems, seeing red has a stronger influence on performance than wearing red, which raises the need for electronic systems to reduce bias. Men, compared to women, are more sensitive to the color of the performance gear. Seeing red on arrival appears to have a stronger effect on an athlete compared to wearing red. The red winning hypothesis could therefore be a product of rival intimidation due to the biological association of red with dominance and bravery. Seeing red also affects how referees score matches, with the observer, in this case being the referee, perceiving athletes in red kits as more aggressive, faster, and stronger. The influence of color on referees is more visible when they have to score tightly called matches. In sports where referees award points, the winner is determined as the one who is more combative. On average, referees award 13% more points to athletes wearing red compared to those wearing blue. The association of red with aggression also exists in team sports, with referees awarding more and stronger penalties to teams wearing red jerseys. This phenomenon is linked to perceptions, cognition, and behaviors associated with wearing red kits. The judgment of the harshness of a wide range of tackles is not affected by the kit color in the case of team sports. Worth pointing out is the fact that tackles from behind by a player in a red kit are judged more harshly because the tackles endanger the safety of the opponent and invoke aggression or anger from everyone. Part of the safety concerns surrounding tackles from behind arise from FIFA regulations from 1998 that branded tackles from behind as dangerous. The effect of red on the dangerousness perceptions of tackles is also associated with other colors, such as blue, that are largely associated with peace and tranquility. National Hockey League and National Football League players wearing black kits are more often punished for exhibiting aggressive behaviors compared to those wearing other colors. This phenomenon is based on the association of black with darkness, the bad, and the dangerous. The effect of black on performance and referee perceptions, as noted in the NFL and NHL, is not replicated in the Turkish Football League. The effect of kit color on performance is better rationalized by team rivalries and in confrontations that contain elements of aggression. Other studies suggest that shirt color has no effect on sporting performance, with performance in this case being used to mean efficiency. The studies suggest that the relationship between outfit color and performance is spurious, with a possibility existing that the studies that find a positive relationship capturing the effects of a different characteristic that could be shared with the teams or athletes playing in red outfits. For example, teams wearing predominantly red kits report greater success in home games and derbies in the top flight of English football, but the results are not replicated in the top flight of Spanish football. Liverpool, Manchester United, and Arsenal of the English Premier League wear predominantly red kits and have quite a collection of trophies among them. Bayern Munich wears red, and the club had been very successful in the German Bundesliga. Bayern Munich, whose primary kit is red in color, has won 3 times more Bundesliga championships compared to all the other teams. The Chicago Bulls took the NBA by storm in the 90s during the prime Michael Jordan era. The San Francisco 49ers are tied for second in Super Bowl wins all time. Serie A giants AC Milan have won the second most European championships in club history at 7. Liverpool, who also wear red, have 6. Bayern Munich, who also wear red, have 6. Barcelona, who have shades of red in their kit, have 5 European championships, and Ajax, who also have shades of red, have 4. In the Spanish La Liga, Real Madrid and Sevilla wear predominantly white kits, while Barcelona and Atletico Madrid wear partially red kits. Interestingly, Real Madrid, wearing white kits, is the most successful club in the UEFA Champions League, having won it for the 14th time in 2022. Other studies suggest that athlete gear color does not present any performance differences in judo, even though athletes in the sport wear white and blue, both colors being associated with peace and tranquility. Red does not improve human performance, and the evolutionary psychology of color theory is not applicable to Taekwondo. The findings associating red with winning is linked to human errors in refereeing. Color perceptions trigger psychological responses in refereeing that lead to bias in evaluating close contexts or matches. While some studies have found that red improves performance compared to blue, others have found a completely opposite effect. Some researchers suggest that the studies that report a relationship between color and performance rarely differentiate between the effect of wearing red and seeing red on an opponent. Contrary to what some studies have found, others suggest that the color of the electronic protector doesn't influence match outcomes, as evidenced by the 2012 Olympic Games and the 2013 World Championships. More and more studies suggest that there are no differences in the number of fouls given against teams wearing red jerseys and those wearing other colors, as measured by the male and female World Cups of the 2010s. The existence of the red effect in team sports has greatly been found to be non-existent, with teams wearing red winning 23% as opposed to losing 21%. Color does not affect performance, but other factors that do include team support. So, what do you think? Comment down below.